How to transition from bulking to maintaining. Congratulations, you've made it to the end of your bulk, but how do you maintain? Let's find out. Hi, I'm Jamie Wright, an accredited nutritionist, and I specialise in helping people across the world achieve their goals without any silly fad diets. So, the bulk is complete. For some, that means you'll have gained a bit of muscle. For others, it may mean that you're now visible from Google Maps. Regardless, it's the end of the bulk and you now need to look to the future, maintaining your hard-earned gains. Don't worry, we've got your back. Here's our expert guide to gain-taining. Laying the foundations. Knowing how much you should be eating. The first step you need to take is determine how many calories you need to consume on a daily basis to maintain your current weight. Knowing how much food you should be having allows you to make more informed decisions on exactly what foods you can realistically incorporate into your day-to-day diet. How much you have and what you have should be centered around maintaining your weight, maintaining or improving your body composition, and, hopefully, continuing to improve your exercise performance and recovery. To figure out what your energy intake should be, I would recommend 2 steps. Step 1, either use an energy calculator or work with a dietitian or nutritionist to help determine your maintenance needs. Step 2, you have to monitor your new maintenance. Keep track of your weight and body composition as you make the transition from bulking to maintaining. If you start to lose weight too quickly or find that your weight continues to increase, you will need to adjust your calorie intake slightly. It can feel a bit like balancing out a seesaw in the beginning, but you'll soon find that your body weight begins to even itself out. Quality, quality, quality. The importance of a nutritious diet. How much you should be aiming to eat each day lays a foundation, while identifying what you should aim to include within your energy requirements creates a truly fleshed out blueprint for your maintenance phase. Let's start with everybody's favourite, protein. I'm assuming that you'll still be training, so let's work with that to base our daily protein needs. The International Society of Sports Nutrition states that for building muscle mass and for maintaining muscle mass through a positive muscle protein balance, an overall daily protein intake in the range of 1.4 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day is sufficient for most exercising individuals. If you're going down the plant-based route, it's important to remember to diversify your protein sources at each meal. Plant proteins, for the most part, are incomplete proteins and are deficient in one or more of the essential amino acids. Need a simple fix? Simply mix protein sources like lentils with peas, rice with beans, and any other number of variations and combinations to achieve that complete protein. Beyond protein, I would suggest focusing on your dietary fat next. Research shows that diets higher in saturated and or trans fats leads to greater gain of body fat, particularly around the midsection, when compared to diets higher in polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fats. Additionally, these fats are generally better for your overall health, and you can find these kinds of fats in dark oily fish and plant sources like nuts and seeds. Saturated and trans fats are found in animal products, as well as ultra-processed goods like crisps, biscuits, cakes, and more. Studies have found that not only are the types of fat important in the conversation around body composition and health, but that more processed foods may be more fattening or less effective for weight management compared to less processed foods. So, ideally, you'd want to limit highly processed foods without completely restricting them and have a diet which is predominantly filled with healthy fats, plants, and other nutritious whole foods. In terms of how much your daily fat intake should contribute to your daily energy intake, aiming for between 20 to 35% of your daily energy intake is a strong starting position. This figure is based on the acceptable macronutrient distribution ranges, AMDR, for adults and recommended by the Food and Nutrition Board of the Institute of Medicine. It's important to note, however, that a wide range of dietary approaches, such as low fat, low carbohydrate, and even ketogenic, can be similarly effective for improving or maintaining body composition, so don't stress too much on achieving these recommendations to an absolute T. Lastly, we can't forget about carbohydrates. Unfortunately, there isn't much in the way of any definitive guidelines around carbohydrate intake and body composition, so, generally speaking, you want to make up the remainder of your energy intake from carbohydrates. What you may want to pay particular attention to are the types of carbohydrate that you're having and the timing of specific carbohydrates around training to maximize performance and recovery. I would recommend sticking to whole grains and fiber-rich carbohydrate sources throughout the day, while having sugary or starchy carbohydrates around training. Roughly speaking, having these sugary or starchy carbs within that 60 to 90 minute window either side of exercise or competition may help reduce glycogen depletion, prolong and improve performance, as well as optimize recovery. the icing on the gaintainer's cake, the supplements you'll want to take. When it comes to supplementation, I would recommend prioritizing those that are going to contribute to your performance, recovery, and body composition. Simply speaking, your focus should rest on the holy trinity of sports supplements: creatine, caffeine, and beta-alanine. Your overall dietary approach is going to determine your successfulness in maintaining your gains. Your diet will help turn a bulk with benefits to a long-term gain relationship. Supplementation, on the other hand, while contributing to this in some part, will be your secret weapon for continuing to press forward with your gym and training progress. Regardless of the type of exercise you're doing, the 3 supplements I described provide almost universal benefits. Let's start with creatine. Creatine helps increase the availability of ATP, the primary source of energy for muscle contractions during exercise. This can help exercisers and athletes to perform better during high-intensity activities, leading to improved performance. Creatine has also been shown to increase muscle mass and strength, particularly when combined with resistance training. This is thought to occur due to several mechanisms, including increased water retention in the muscles, increased protein synthesis, and an increased activation of satellite cells which help repair and grow muscle tissue. You will experience the effects of creatine when your muscles have become saturated with it. You can achieve this by either following a loading phase or following a more consistent intake. Loading with creatine involves supplementing with higher doses, typically 15 to 20 grams per day, over a 7 to 10 day period before reducing this down to a maintenance dose of around 4 to 6 grams per day. If you have a more sensitive gut, you may wish to stick to the more consistent intake, which would involve simply supplementing with 4 to 6 grams per day continually, and while it takes a bit longer to saturate the muscles, it does typically reduce the likelihood of any gut distress. Now let's have a look at beta-alanine. Beta-alanine raises the levels of carnosine in our muscles. Carnosine is a buffer for the byproducts of lactic acid and metabolism. Lactic acid is produced when we exercise and is often misinterpreted to cause that burning sensation that most of us have experienced at one time or another. It isn't actually lactic acid that causes the burning feeling in our muscle, but the byproduct of its breakdown. You see, we actually metabolize lactic acid to produce energy too, but when we do, it produces nasty byproducts which increase the acidity of the muscular environment. As the acidity level increases within the muscle, it detrimentally affects the function of the muscle and gives us that burning sensation. Having a higher level of carnosine helps to buffer this, keeping a more neutral muscle pH, and enables us to ultimately perform more reps. For the more mathematically inclined in the audience, you'll know that more reps equals more gains. With beta-alanine, you'll want to take around 5 to 6 grams a day. Ideally, you'll want to split this pre and post workout, but on your rest days you can take it whenever you feel like. You can apply the same approach to creatine. Ultimately, for these 2 supplements, it's not so important when you take them, it's just important that you remember to take them each day. Finally, caffeine. My favorite. Caffeine is a stimulant that can help improve performance and body composition in several ways. Firstly, caffeine helps stimulate the central nervous system, leading to increased alertness, focus, and energy. This can help athletes perform better during high intensity and endurance exercise. This can also be particularly useful during the initial transition from a higher food intake to your maintenance amount. Second, caffeine has been shown to reduce the perceived effort of exercise, meaning that it can help athletes work harder and longer before they feel fatigued. This can also lead to improved performance during both high intensity and endurance exercises. Thirdly, caffeine can also help improve recovery after exercise by reducing muscle soreness and increasing glycogen repletion. This can help you recover faster between workouts and reduce your risk of injury. Finally, caffeine can also help enhance fat burning by increasing metabolism and the breakdown of fat stores for energy. This can help improve body composition by reducing body fat and increasing lean muscle mass. If you've not tried caffeine around training before, then I would recommend starting off with a relatively tame black coffee just to see how you feel during exercise itself. If you're a seasoned pro, you're likely already horsing down pre-workout before your session, so I would just say to go easy on it and not become so overly dependent on caffeine that you need it to get through the day. And that's that. That's the expert guide to transitioning from bulk to maintenance. You've loved our previous video on how to lean bulk, which you can find here if you haven't watched already. So we'd love to hear what you think of this and if you're going to incorporate any of the tips and strategies laid out. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Myprotein YouTube channel for more helpful content, and be sure to keep asking the team's questions so we can keep providing you with more evidence-based answers.